up, everybody? All right, so today I'm back. Here we are, and it's gonna be open topic, so y'all can talk about whatever y'all want. There's nothing specific, so you can drop your comments and stuff like that. So to whoever wants to join, I'm gonna put a link right now, and you can tune in if you want. And like I said, y'all can just talk about pretty much whatever y'all want today. So I'm gonna share the link. Just keep it cool, just keep it neutral. And if anybody like gets a little out of hand, like I'm gonna remove you from this. But let's just have fun today. Let's just chat, hang out, all that good stuff. Y'all already know how the business is. What up? What up? I see y'all watching, so appreciate y'all for tuning in and stuff like that. So let me put the link so whoever wants to join in, y'all can feel free, no problem. Like I said, just have fun with it and stuff like that. So that's the link right there. People are defending Transformers out of Superman. Oh, defending the I got a Superman. Yeah, yeah, but honestly, Superman's already done. Honestly, like they're just desperate trying to save it, and it's already done. Honestly. I'm not surprised on that. Talk about Comcast possibility saving us in 2026. Restore the Snyderverse. All right, this is what I think is going to happen with this. This is just me speculating on my end. If we're seeing how WB is in trouble right now with everything in their cinematic universe, they screwed things up by turning their back on us, the fans, and abandoning the Snyderverse. And they think that by them doing this reboot was going to save them. It's already starting off bad, and this is what I'm speculating is going to happen with the way that things are going. Everything is shifting to digital. Because of course Netflix is capitalizing. Let's just be real. They're making too much money. They're gaining too many subscribers, and look at their stocks. They're incredible. It's nuts. Over 1.2 thousand a share. That's insane. And what I think is going to happen is because, of course, Warner Brothers has HBO Max, they're going to be able to put content out there, and they need to. They need to put content ASAP. So with Comcast coming into play to help them, in 2026 in January, I think what they're going to do is that they're just going to, see and test the waters, what they could do with HBO Max. And once they've pretty much learned the system from how it works on that back end, I think they're just gonna wait out and see what's going on now. They're gonna help them and give them a boost because of course they have the audience and stuff like that. And I think low key they're just gonna sweep them and they're gonna buy them out. And then in the end, I think what they're gonna do is Comcast is gonna you know put content on HBO Max, and part of that's gonna be with Zack Snyder, of course, with probably 300 the prequel, and it's probably gonna be an exclusive for that. Just how we got Rebel Moon as an exclusive for Netflix, and they can crush it. They can completely dominate their streaming service like that. Within HBO Max, and of course, there's going to be a lot of legal stuff and things like that. So what I think is going to happen is that Comcast is just testing out the waters to see what's going to happen. Once they see that they've already learned and everything is going the way that they want, because of course they're another corporation, they're going to make an offer to WB and say, hey, we can save you from that debt that you're drowning in. And WB is going to need it. WB needs to be rescued very, very bad, financially. So what I think is going to happen is that Comcast is just going to throw the lifesaver and say, "Hey, look, we'll get you out of this debt, but here's the catch." And they're going to probably, propose to them and say, "Hey, look, if we come on board, we want to be the parent company. We want to buy you out. We're going to eliminate all your debt, and we're going to take over." And I think that's what's going to come. Honestly, this is why I don't see that Netflix is gonna. There's no way that they're going to sell to Netflix. Honestly, as much as the idea sounds incredible and it sounds fantastic, no, business wise, it wouldn't make sense, because why would you have a streaming service which is HBO Max, and then you can capitalize with your own DC IP and Harry Potter and whatever comes from the IPs that they own, and then you're just gonna be like, you know what, we're gonna give it to our competition, which is Netflix, and let them go ahead and do the content and let them bank. It doesn't make sense, right? So that's why you don't see me talking and defending about sell, because I'm not down with that. If I was a business, person in charge, I wouldn't want to sell either. I'll be like, yo, we're gonna do whatever we can to keep our IPs, and then when things are really, really bad, we're probably gonna go up for sale. But it's not at that point right now. Like WB's doing bad, but it's not at that point right now, you know. So a lot of people need to like tone it down with that, and they're just jumping to conclusions, you know. And it's not that's not gonna happen anytime soon. You know, they have to be in some serious financial crisis, you know, but that's not happening anytime soon. Yes, their movie division is tanking and doing bad, but you know, in the end, what I think is gonna happen is just Comcast is gonna be the parent company of this company of WB soon. Right as always, mate. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. What's up? What up? You already know 7-Eleven wallets closed. Hell yeah. That's exactly how we're gonna be doing. And you know, I can't wait, honestly. That's why, like I said, you know, this is interesting, and how things how are they shifting and things like that. Notice how Marvel, DC, Star Wars are in shambles right now. I'm mostly gonna support movies and shows that aren't franchises like those until there's improvement, like restoring the Snyderverse. Oh hell yeah! And like I told y'all, cinema's about to change. You know, with this announcement with Michael Bay, I'm telling you right now, we're gonna go back to good filmmaking again. You know, make movies great again. I don't care. I don't care. Straight up, we need it. We need cinema to be great again. And damn it, we need it because the past few years have been bad. And y'all know that it's been bad. You know, we haven't really been getting good quality content out there. And then when they put out some movies, you know, it always has some type of agenda and stuff like that. I'm tired of it, honestly. I'm really exhausted from that. I don't care about no type of message. I just want good entertainment. That's it. You know, and when these studios fail to give us that, you know, it's just as a fan, I'm just turned off. I'm like, I don't even care about it, honestly. You know, this is why, like I said, 28 years later, man, I was waiting for that movie, you know, and I was like, okay, you know, it's been a while and stuff like that, and 18 years they took to make the third film, and it was trash. It was garbage. I get it. Some fans are liking it. I don't. That's not a 28 type of movie. You know, it just isn't. They went a whole new route. I don't know what the hell they were trying to do. Honestly, sometimes just stick to what works. You know, and that's what these studios need to learn. Stick to what works. Stop screwing things around, and stop changing things. You know, you can still do new takes, new different ways to you know, improve the movies and stuff, but just stick to what works. You know, 28 years later has always been about, you know, the rage virus, and you know, like what we saw in the city on the first two films. I mean, you can just go back and you could still explore a lot of that, you know, and they could have brought the cast and stuff like that from the previous films. And then, you know, at the end, it's like, yo, what the hell just happened? You know, and it's like, I'm not even excited to see what is the fourth one, the next one they're gonna do. I don't really care about it, honestly. Like, I've lost so much interest in, you know, in this brand that I'm like, I don't even care about it, you know. And that's telling you a lot. I'm a zombie fan. I love zombie movies, but this wasn't it. This was on some bullshit, honestly. I was like, nah, man, that's completely like dumb as hell. There's so many people telling us to move on. Snyderverse, Phil will not come back. That's the exact thing they said about Snyder Cut after 5 year long wait. We got that masterpiece. Yeah, exactly. I agree with you. I completely agree with you. It took us 5 long years. Do the math. 360, you know, maybe like 61. What is it? 365 in a year. Do that times five. That's how long we had to wait for the Snyder Cut. You know, and every day, every hour, every minute, people making fun of us, mocking us, insulting us, offending us, threatening us, all type of things. But guess what? Our hard work paid off because now we have the Snyder Cut. That's all that matters, you know. And they're still bitter about that, you know. And like I said, you know, it is what it is. Who cares of what happened and how we got it? But the point is, we have it. That's it. That's all that matters, you know. And then you have some fans that are like the minority, because the minority couldn't stop us. Remember, they were the ones barking up the tree and telling us move on, give up. And what are they doing now? Now that James Gunn's in power, doing the same copy and paste elements. See what I'm saying? This is why I'm telling y'all, you know, we can't give up. We can't give up. We will stop at nothing. And they know it. This is why, again, they're barking up the tree. And James Gunn coming out saying, oh, you know, that there's a minority of fans. All right, we're a minority. All right, see how your ticket sales are not moving. You know, that tells you everything. You're already starting to see the fall of this company. And then July 11, our wallets will remain locked and closed. That's it. You know, and they know it. They know it. You know, so when you got this guy coming out saying, "Oh, how's that boycott going? How's those ticket sales going?" You know, and then day of opening, we're gonna get you. That's what we're gonna get and redeem ourselves. You know, as fans, customers, and consumers. and the studio's gonna see, they're gonna feel it, they're gonna literally feel the power of the true fans, and it all ends on that day. They're gonna be like, you know what, we need to give them what they want. That's exactly what they know that they need to do. Oh, that goes for the Bayverse. Now look, exactly. Yep, exactly. I agree with you, my friend. They were saying, oh, you guys, the Transformers fans, some of them were like, oh no, Bayverse, he ruined it and blah blah blah. Look, three strikes, you're out. That's it, baby. We're getting back to Bayverse. That's what made money. We got 5 films back to back. And look, while we're on the topic, right? Like I said, it's open topic. Y'all can talk about whatever y'all want. If y'all want to join in, let me put the link again. So yeah, I know some people want to join in and stuff like that. This is the opportunity. So whenever you're like, oh, let me join, there's the link. So if you want to, tune in, go for it. Just keep it cool. That's it. But look, just real quick, when fans are like, oh, Michael Bay ruined the franchise. No, he didn't. He got the first 3 films. That was one trilogy. And then people are like, oh, it wasn't connected and this and that. Yes, it is. Because when you see the 4th film, which is starting the next trilogy, leading into the last night, but leaving everything in a cliffhanger with the last night that we're supposed to get Transformers 6. You look at the 4th film in the beginning, it's literally explaining to you, and I'm getting chills as I say this. You see that they're highlighting and talking about the events of what happened in the Chicago event. Remember, in the Dark of the Moon with the whole Transformers and everything, and even in the beginning when they're hunting down, the Decepticons are hunting down with the soldiers, the Autobots and stuff, that they're in the ship and everywhere, that they're taking them all out slowly. And then, Cade sees, on the camera later on that he got from I forgot the company, at TRF or whatever they're called. And then he takes one of their drones and he looks at it. And then he's like, you see that they're taking out the rest of the Autobots. And then there's files in there, the video files. So it's explaining to you what's happening. This is a new trilogy, but it's opening the door while it's still connected with the previous films. This is the start. That's why when you see this guy, I can't remember right now his name, but the guy that played Kelsey in that show, what was, I think, I don't remember, that late night show, dude was saying, yo, we can make you. We don't need the Transformers anymore because they already have, after them destroying the Autobots, getting the metals and stuff like that, that they're able to create Galvatron. It's like, it's another evolution of the franchise, meaning like, it's moving ahead. It's not staying back in the G1 formula, like it's moving ahead into the future. And that's what I love. I'm like, damn, like they're opening the doors while it's still connected, and it's, doing something new and different. So in the end, that's all that matters. So we got it. And, people have to accept it. This is what the power of the fans can do, and here we are. Greatness will return. The Snyderverse will return. Restore the Snyderverse. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. For sure it's going to happen. And they know it. When I say they, I'm talking about, James Gunn, his fans, and the minority of them, because they can't stop us. They couldn't stop us for the Snyderverse, with the Snyder Cut. So that should motivate us even more. Be like, yo, we got the Snyder Cut. And look at what we went through with how many people in power in the studio. And we got it. That's all that matters. We have it, and they just can't accept that we actually have it. So it is what it is. And the same thing is happening now with the Transformers. After 5 films, okay, say what you want, they made money. It brought people in. Then we had a reboot with a soft reboot and another reboot. It didn't work. 3 strikes, you're out. You need Michael Bay. You need him. Go back to what was working, And that's exactly what it is, and I'm all here for it, That's why, like I said, we're here fighting for it, and we're still going for it. Super flop. Yeah. Oh man, it's gonna be funny on July 11th. I can't wait. Wallace closed July 11th for Super Flop. Yep. You already know it. So embarrassing that Minecraft movie failed to break 1 billion at the end of its box office run. Yeah, exactly. They were up there. I gotta give it to them. Let's be real. Like, let's give them credit. Like, Minecraft blew everybody's mind away, in the sense, like, who would have thought that movie was gonna make that much money? And good for them. Good for them. Like, I'm not gonna throw dirt at them, but I'm not watching it. I'm still not watching it, even if it's on HBO Max, like, or Max, whatever the hell it's called now. I'm still not gonna watch it. It just doesn't drag my attention, And let's see what happens and what comes from that. Who knows what the hell? Does anybody actually believe these WB plants saying they saw Superman early and it's great? Bro, we know that's cap. Hell yeah, for sure that's cap. Yeah, man, they're all BSing. They're just paid. They're just paid to say, I'm gonna tell you straight up, not that I'm gonna do it, but if WB was like, yo, see, as the director, we want to give you a check, but just talk about Superman and, tell your audience that it's good, I'll be like, let me see that check, how much it is. I'll be like, mm, damn, that's tempting. But you know what? Shove that check up your ass. I don't need it. I'm gonna tell you straight up. I'm gonna keep it real like that because you can't buy me. I don't have a price tag. You don't see a price tag on me, and I'll never sell out to no company, no sponsor, or anybody that's out there. That's real talk. I'm telling y'all straight up. That's who I am. I'm real as hell like that. I'll rather lose the money and say, you know what? Nah, I got dignity, but I'm gonna still keep on grinding. I'm gonna keep on hustling, and this is where we are right now. Look at where we're at right now. And while we're on the topic, real quick, and it's interesting how you're saying that because, of course, these plants saying that they saw Superman. It's nuts because it's telling you that they're all paid. They're paid to say all this nonsense. All these fake reviews, and we're starting to hear the reviews how they're coming out. So that's showing you. You can tell that they were all paid shows. And while we're on the topic, real quick, I want to say like thanks to everybody because look at where we're at right now. We're at 2,294 subscribers, and we're growing. And this is nuts. Who would have thought? I never saw myself doing this. Like real talk, and it's thanks to each and every one of you out there. Every time you watch the video, you share it, you hit the like, even if you dislike it, all of that. Thank you because it helps the channel. And here we are talking. We're just interacting, and everything is leading to July 11. And you've all been hearing me for the past 2.5 years, just talking about the same thing. I'm sure some of y'all might be like, damn, you always have something to say about the Snyderverse, and you always have something to say about, the Bayformers. It's something that I really love. I really enjoy, and I'm starting to see more people are starting to like also, be interested in that. And it's awesome. It's awesome. It's amazing to see that. And this industry needs that because this industry needs a wake-up call in the sense of, you need to start putting out good movies. Honestly, you have to. That's all that matters. Troop 31 was once a big Snyder fan. Yeah, he was. Unfortunately, he's now a WB side. That's why I've lost respect for him. Yeah, I used to watch him and stuff like that. No, nothing against him and stuff, but the way that he just like turned his back on the community, it just says everything. But I'll leave that at that. The late great Tony Vaughn voice the fallen. Yeah, hopefully we get him back. Hopefully, but we'll see what's up. It's just all in the end. It's all about money and stuff. So let me see. Let me see. All right, so many bots and shills popping up. P guns, rehash MCU 2.0. Yeah, there's a lot of them. There's a lot of them coming up left and right, and you can tell they're bots. You can see sometimes in the comments. Literally, there's comments that just go to insult me personally, and then when I go and check out their page, they literally created the account within the past 5 days, and I'm like, come on, man. Like straight out, you gonna really be like that? Like that they're bots. It's like it is what it is. It's like it's crazy to see them, but at the same time, we know where they stand at. So Snyderverse movement will pop off when the world sees how trash Superman is. Hell yeah, for sure, for sure. Look at the poll that I posted the other day. It's crazy. Like when I do these polls, I just be like, you know what? That's why I'm calling them now. You decide. Like that way nobody can say, oh, they're bots and this and that. Look, I'm gonna go look at it right now. Just the one that I posted with okay, I posted it 3 days ago, right? The one with Superman from James Gunn and then Zack Snyder's Superman. And I put embrace the future or restore the Snyderverse. I go, you decide. So this is each and every one of you, Probably you're not like a huge Snyder fan or whatever, and vice versa. But you're the ones that are deciding. It has 907 votes. All right. 36% support James Gunn. 64% want the Snyderverse restored. And that's official people. That's not no bots. That's legit. This is real people. That's telling you what people, what the audience, what the fans, customers, and consumers want when they see and come across this poll. That's incredible, And then the same thing I did with the Transformers. And this is before we even got the announcement of Michael Bay, which is nuts. See what I'm saying? Like I put, again, with the Transformers, it has 371 votes. And I put more G1 type or restore the Bayverse. 37% said that they want more G-type movies, G1 type. And then 63% want more of restore the Bayverse. Again, that's speaking in volumes on its own, Those are not bots. Those are real fans wherever they are, And it's crazy. It's nuts. People are interested. They want more of that. And in the end, I'm telling y'all, good cinema is gonna make a comeback real, real fast. Yeah, baby, we got the magic stick, and we can hit it once, we can hit it twice. Yo, that that comment, yo, I'll tell you right now, that comment, yo, you got me. You got me by surprise with that, yo. I can picture just the song right now. We got the magic stick. We can hit it once, we can hit it twice. That was good, man. Congrats on that one. Like this is what I like. I love chatting with y'all because y'all just pop up with some random stuff, man. Yo, man, I'm telling you, man. I got like my sense of humor sometimes. Like simple things like this could crack me up. So it's just that's what like I say. Like I don't take life too serious, and this, this right here made my day. Honestly, 100% real talk. All right, restore Snyderverse. Yes, you know it. You know it for sure, for sure. All right, the audience doesn't like this Soups movie. Nah, majority are not. Honestly, they're just not feeling it. They're really not interested. All right, a Minecraft movie is trash. All right, good. I'm not even gonna waste my time on it. So that's good. OT, yeah, they're doing that overtime. All right, so let's see what's up. In my opinion, Transformers 6 should be split into two parts. Yeah, that would be dope. It will be the ultimate epic end game like conclusion with both films being 3 hours long. Yeah, that would be dope. But if it's a two part, the only bad thing, well, not bad thing, but the only thing that would kind of like to me throw everything off from it being a trilogy would be like, okay, you do a two part, now you have to start a new trilogy. See what I'm saying? Because in the first one, remember, a trilogy is made up by three films. We got the first ones, and then the second one would be with the sixth one with this. And okay, you're gonna probably start a new trilogy with the sixth one. That would be dope. I'm not against it. So you know what? Bring in those three films after that. Hell yeah, I'm down with that. It will be nice, a two part, and then the last two films to end. Whatever they're trying to do. Maybe with the GI Joe saga, that would be dope. That would be dope. Look, Hasbro, I just gave you an idea. GI Joe and Transformers saga. There you go, boom, and that's it. Go all out, and I'll be done. I'll be like, I'm good. You get what I'm saying? Like, yo, like that will go down in history. You imagine that if Michael Bay makes 9 films, 3 trilogies, no other director has done that. Well, let's be real. How many? Nah. I'm wrong. I'm wrong. You know why? Because let's not forget the Fast and the Furious saga. What that movie has like probably 3 trilogies already, and I think it's about to go into the fourth trilogy or something like that. Because I think we're about to get Fast 10. I mean Fast 11 or 12, something like that. So I'm like, yo, these people have been going at it with the Fast saga, honestly. And damn, props to them. Props to them. That would be dope though. I do not oppose that honestly. So that would be nice right there. For sure, for sure. Restore the Snyderverse all day, baby. You already know for sure. All right, movies, TV man, who was one of the few authentic people on YouTube like you. He saw Superman, he reviewed it, and to him it was mediocre trash. Yeah, I used to watch him, and I used to comment on his videos and stuff. But I'm gonna be honest with you, not that I'm gonna talk, anything, but I'm gonna say how it is. Like when they announced this reboot with James Gunn, like dude was he was shilling for it. Like he started like switching and saying, "Yo, like." He even started bashing on some of us, with the Snyder fans. So I'm gonna tell you straight up, like just because he said that review, like I still to me I'm like, yo, like I still keep an eye, you get what I'm saying? So like, but yeah, I saw that review and stuff like that. So it is what it is and stuff like that. So all right, let's see. uh Hell yeah, One Piece, you already know, pirated. That's it. It's time to sail the all the oceans. You already know, to look for that gold. All right, Cinehouse reported that Rob Pat is out as Batman and Jensen is replacing him. Interesting. Oh, really? Like I told y'all, things are shifting, things are changing, they're gonna continue. And knowing James Gunn, this is his playground right now, and he's gonna do everything that he can because, of course, he's a little envious and jealous, because he doesn't want nobody else to take the spotlight, and he's gonna try to do everything that he can with and whatever little bit of power he still has. But it is what it is. He can go ahead and recast whoever he wants and do whatever he wants. But honestly, at the end, James Gunn's contract, rumor has it, is not going to get renewed in 2026. So, ooh, you get what I'm saying? Don't forget, Peter Safran's contract ends sometime this fall. That's what rumor has it, that they don't want to move forward with him. So I wouldn't I wouldn't be surprised with all the money that they've been costing the studio for a while. I don't know what happened to Truth, either a massive WB check or a mental illness. His turn for gunning against Snyder fans is truly schizo. Yeah, honestly, it's just probably a paycheck. In the end, sometimes money talks, and unfortunately, some people have a price tag, but I'm not one of them. So that's all that matters. I'm rewatching the Snyder trilogy on July 11th. Hell yeah, have to. Rewatching. Yep, gotcha. Binge watching Smallville again. Nice. I never saw it. I hear a lot of good things about it though. I don't know. It never caught my attention. Honestly, that's the same thing like Superman and Lois. Never caught my attention. But I've seen clips here and there and stuff from what I've seen. That's pretty dope. That's cool. Again, if that's what you enjoy, good. That's what it all matters about and stuff like that in the end. Zack Snyder's Justice League stood for justice. Justice for Zack, justice for her daughter, for the fans. So beautiful that the movie itself was a Justice League movie. Exactly, exactly. I agree with you on that one. That's what it matters. And, in the end, like I always say, and like, what the reality is that justice always wins. It always prevails. Say what you want, but in the end, justice always gets served. Not everybody wants it, not everybody likes it, but let's accept it. Justice is justice, and boom, we finally got it. So it's wild, but at the same time, it's beautiful to see where we made that possible, and we're part of history. Forever, we're part of history. I had about give me the same comment. Another bot gave me for questioning gun Superman film, Superboy film. It's almost like they're programmed to give off the same response. Yeah, they're all reading from the same teleprompt. Honestly, they're all reading from the same script, and that's how it is. It's just rinse, wash, and repeat. And again, control copy, control paste. that's that's how they work. That's exactly how they work. So what can you expect from James Gunn and his fans and stuff like that? Thought on Disney's possible bringing back the original cast on Johnny Depp for Pirates of the Caribbean 6. That would be dope. Honestly, I love those movies, especially the music. Dun 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 dun. That's awesome. We need that. We need more pirates. Movies of that. Honestly, um, damn, yeah, hell yeah, I'm down with that. Like I said, I don't care about what they go through in their personal lives. I just want entertainment, good entertainment, and just make it happen. That's all I care about. Out of curiosity, can you do a video reaction debunk to the video debunking 8 Snyder cult arguments? I could check into it. I can look into it. I know I've been seeing. I know there was some video that I saw the other day. I didn't click on it, but it just popped in my feed talking about why the Snyderverse failed. I'm gonna work on one, and I'm gonna just do the opposite of why it worked and how everything after the Snyderverse failed because it's been failing. That's gonna be a video that I had to do a lot of homework, and the rendering is gonna be nuts. Like I'm gonna tell you straight up, when I do these videos, that's why you see mostly when I make my videos, I try to keep them at 5 minutes max because the rendering on these videos, if you do video editing, you know what I'm talking about. The more stuff you put on it, the more your video is going to compress and take longer to squeeze and get that file at the end the way that you want it. And when you see videos that are like with a lot of videos and clips from other like movies and stuff like that, yes, they look nice. Yes, they look beautiful. But you know how long that took? That could take hours to render. And then when you have to upload it to YouTube, you still have to wait. It could take hours to upload that also, depending on, it's just like traffic, how YouTube servers at the moment and stuff like that. And honestly, like it's gonna be a long video, but yeah, I'll work on something and stuff like that for y'all. So oh yeah, for sure. I've been waiting for half a year. Yeah, yeah. You're gonna. I'm waiting. I'm waiting late to talk about. I can't wait. I really. That's why. I'll tell you the. I'm nobody's really that. What I've been saying. And I'm gonna real quick about that to be. I've been saying, especially YouTube ideas, give an ideas, give any type of ideas to the studio on what they can go back and fix. I'll leave it at that. But yeah, once after July 11th, for sure, I'm gonna make that video and stuff. Probably do a live stream about it and things. What up, brother? What up? Appreciate you for watching. Also, appreciate everybody. All right, restore the Bayverse, Transformers: Rise of Unicron, Linkin Park, Sam Witwicky, Kay Yeager, Michael Bay, Transformers Bayverse. Hell yeah, hell yeah! It's good to see that. Honestly, look, I'm gonna be honest with you as a Transformers fan. I'm loving and seeing, like McDonald's, ba-da-ba-ba-ba, I'm loving it. Seeing how we're getting more people interacting and talking about Michael Bay and the Transformers. Honestly, look at this is how things change and how I guess people change and they see a different point of view after, of I told you so. This is why I've always supported Michael Bay when it comes to the live action movies. I'm only talking about the live action. I'm not talking about cartoons. I'm not talking about the toys. I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about in general with the Transformers brand in the live action cinematic universe. With Michael Bay, 5 movies, the studio decided to like get away from him and say, you know what? We're gonna go a different route with Bumblebee and Travis Knight. We're gonna do a soft reboot. It didn't work. We're gonna do the same thing with Rise of the Beast. Guess what? It didn't work. Oh, okay, we're gonna do what the fans want. We're gonna put no humans. We're gonna make it all kind of G1, like the aesthetics and the style of the robots and stuff like that. And we're gonna try to cater to everyone. And guess what? It didn't work. It just didn't work. But what worked and what had continuity? 5 movies back to back. Michael Bay, the Bayformers. So therefore, go back to what was working. And this is why I think they're doing. This is why I think they're setting up that whole crossover with G.I. Joe. And I'm ready. I'm ready for it. Start filming it. Like, stop talking about it and let's go at it. Make it happen already. Bro, there are jokes that make fun of the Snyder Cut in what is the SM Superman movie? James Gunn is mocking us. Yeah, that's what the studio does. Remember, they did the same thing in Barbie. The clip is out there. You can look for it. And I saw it. When I saw it, I was like, that's it. Like, okay. Like, I thought it was gonna be like worse, but and it's crazy because I think there's a video out there too or something, a post with Zach that he actually, like I think he responded to it. And Zach laughs about it. He's like, he's like, yo, like I don't know where I saw. I think there was one clip. I know the one that he's on stage and he's reading like a little card or something like that he did a cameo recently, and then like he even also like kind of like made fun of himself, and I'm like, yo, that's pretty cool, Zach. He's humble, he's down to earth and stuff like that. It would be nice if Zach was listening to me one day. Probably he has, like damn, I would love to get him on the channel, and talk and like chop it up with him, man. Him and David Ayer and Michael Bay, yo, those are the 3 people that I would love to get one day I say, on this channel. Hopefully when we're big and people know us more and stuff like that, that'll be dope. But yeah, like Zack Snyder's cool about it and stuff like that. And I know there was somewhere that I saw, I don't know where it was, but somebody making fun, but not in a bad way. They were just like, I think they were referring to something. I think they were like, when they want movies, they want it now. They're like, oh, can I get it? The Snyder cut version. In other words, like they don't want things to be cut. They want it how it's supposed to be. And I know I saw somewhere else somebody was making fun again, and then they were like, "Oh, I like my steak like the Snyder cut," meaning like they want it full, thick, like don't mess with it type of thing. And it's incredible to see that. It's like that shows you the influence that the Snyderverse community has. 2, how we are the majority because they're acknowledging us. That's a compliment to me. That's a compliment. Damn it. I'm like, damn, y'all still can't stop talking about us. That shows you that we're living rent free in their heads. So it's like, even if they make fun of us, so therefore we're winning, regardless what they're saying and stuff like that. So it is what it is, but that's all good. Screening to Gun Superman were mixed in my theater, but gave out spoilers that pissed off him. That's good. That's good. That's how it should be, honestly. Honestly, I agree with you. All right. That makes movies great again. Yep, exactly. All right. So I'm just trying to go down the comments and stuff, trying to keep up with y'all. All right. I'm watching all the Zack Snyder's movie right now. Nice, nice. I just finished watching the last night, literally 2 nights ago. I think I'm gonna go check out now. I'm kind of going backwards. I don't know. I'm weird like that. I'm gonna go check out what is Age of Extinction. Age of Extinction is that's my guilty pleasure. Honestly, I know a lot of people don't like it, but damn it, that's my guilty pleasure. I guess because it has the Dinobots. That's the main reason I like it. And then when you hear the music, nobody can save you now. It's do or die. Like yo, it's like dum, 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 boom, boom. When you hear those drums, you're like, oh shit, shit's about to get real. you know. And that's what I love about these Transformers movies with Michael Bay. Like, you just hear the music and you can see the whole scene in your head. You hear the music from Zack Snyder's Justice League and you know what's going down. You know, you hear the music from Dark Side and you already know shit's about to get real. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, it's like, damn, how does the studio not continue with that? You know, that's what, it just completely leaves me just blank, honestly. Will you do more Transformers videos? Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna keep on doing more Transformers videos. If you all saw too, I posted that video from my collection. Some, that's not even my whole collection. That's literally, I'm telling you right now, that's one, two, three, four. That's four shelves of what I got with my Transformers collection. I have more. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, and like I said, you know, if I have to make space for more, so be it. You know, because like I said, I'm the consumer. Let's go. You know, I'm spending my money on it. I don't understand how a studio chooses to move away from the Snyderverse, something that makes money. Whoever made that decision should be fired. Can't read what markets want. Every what? Very bad business sense. Yeah, that's true. You know, this is why they're in this predicament. This is exactly why they're in this situation. You know, because they wanted to get away from it and they brought this upon themselves. And July 11, it all is going to prove to the studio that we were right all along. You know, James Gunn's fanboy. I compare them to Joe Biden. Come on. Oh man. Oh damn, the lag. Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, it's probably the connection around where I'm at. It comes and goes, so pardon me on that if it keeps breaking up from time to time and stuff. So you already know. Bro, did you check out the Lethal Geek show last night? What did you think of Prime Comments? No, I didn't. I wasn't able to. I'm gonna be honest with you. I was too busy playing Fortnite last night, so I completely forgot. And you get what I'm saying? Like the squad needed me and stuff. But I'm gonna have to go and check it out and stuff. But just bring me up to date. Let me know what happens so I can just spoil it for me. I don't mind the spoilers, honestly. I actually look for spoilers, honestly. It saves me a lot of time. Don't forget everyone saying that the Bayverse will never get restored. Yep, exactly. Remember how many people were saying, "Oh, it's not gonna happen," and guess what? Now it's happening. So, and I get it. Some fans are just not happy about it. Do you ever go hunting or fishing? Hunting, no, not my thing. Fishing, yeah, I'll go from time to time. I have a friend. Since we're out here in Florida, you get what I'm saying. Like, there's a lot of swamps out here, and you got to be careful out here. So, to anybody that's not out here and doesn't know how Florida rolls, I'm telling you right now, every pond of lake, I mean, every lake, whatever, anything that has water, be careful because it has gators in it. Honestly, there's a video on YouTube you can see that there's this small little path, and during the hurricane that we got like a few years ago, it was a little small puddle, and this guy threw a stick in it or a rock, and literally there was a gator in there. That's what I'm telling you. You have to be careful. This is why I kind of don't like fishing, and you know we got a lot of like I guess what is it bobcats. You know, they look like little small lions. I don't know if you ever seen them, but if not, go Google it. Bobcats. We have a bunch of them out here. You know, bears out here too. So it's like it's pretty dangerous out there. You know, there's swamps. So you know, the hunting part, nah, I'm good. You know, I remember one time I did four-wheelers with a friend. We got stuck in the middle out there, literally, like probably like up to like almost like waist deep in some. Not it wasn't mud, but it was just like like wet grounds and stuff like that. And the ATV we were on, or the four-wheeler, got stuck halfway, and we literally were waiting there all day. We were like, "Yo, there's no cell service." Like I lost my shoes because they got stuck in the mud and stuff like that because of the suction, the pressure and things. And then we had to wait probably till like late afternoon. The sun was starting to go down, and I told my friend, I was like, "Yo, this looks like Lion King. Like, like any minute the hyenas are gonna come out or something like that. It looks wild like that." I was like, "Damn, it's crazy." And then we had a group of like other people. Literally, they came through. They helped us. They had chains. They were prepared. You get what I'm saying? And we were able to take out the four-wheeler and stuff like that. Never again. I was like, hell no. It was fun, but never again. I can't watch Smallville due to a certain person in a cult. I'll take season one over that crap. I've never seen this, so I don't know. I don't even know exactly what it's about. I'll be watching Batman versus Superman, Zack Snyder Justice League on July 11. I just saw F1 in IMAX. Great film. Nice, nice. That's good. I saw something about that they made some good money for like the first, I guess, opening and stuff like that. So that's pretty good. Good for them. Good for them. I hate seeing Superman scream like a girl on the trailers. WTF is that? Yeah, yeah, that's exactly what James Gunn brings to what he's doing. Linkin Park soundtracks or Battle Cry for Transformers. Both of them, honestly, both of them are fitting. Let's be real. The first trilogy, the first three films, you have Linkin Park. That's cool. On the second one, let's not forget, we had an Age of Extinction, Imagine Dragons with that Battle Cry. The last night, they were on some bullshit. Clearly, that was the studio. The studio was screwing around, just like WB screwed around with Zack Snyder. Because if they would have brought in Imagine Dragons, I'm telling you straight up, the music would have been much better. The music score would have been much more. I can remember it. Like I barely remember some of the music from it. I only remember because I just saw it recently, but it's not like how you see in the previous films. You can remember and you can relate to it. And what they need to do in the next installment, bring back Imagine Dragons, bring that battle cry. Like we need it because that's fitting for that. That plus Steve Jablowski, you need to have those tracks in there and stuff like that. So it's like it's part of it. At this point, it's part of the culture. It's just bring them back and let's go. Man of Steel, Batman versus Superman, and Zack Snyder's Justice League. You select versus the whole DCU. Yep, I agree with you too. I agree with you. Thoughts on GI Joe: Rise of Cobra, GI Joe: Retaliation. I personally feel both films are extremely underrated. I probably saw one of them, maybe where The Rock is at years ago, but I don't remember it. Like I said, I'm not a GI Joe fan, so I don't really keep up with it, and I'm just not. I'm just not interested on it. But I am interested in the crossover as long as Michael Bay is in it. So that's all I care about right now. Gun Superman caused more damage than Snyder's Superman. Yeah, but let's be real. Snyder never caused any damage to Superman. It's just the crybabies that can't accept, and these betas, you know, that can't accept the alpha version of what Zack Snyder gave us with his version of Superman. And what we're seeing with James Gunn, that's straight up all just beta, BS. And like, I'm just not into it, honestly. I like Ray Park as Snake Eyes and the G.I. Joe movie. I do like the props and the costumes and stuff that they had. So that was pretty dope. Probably I'm going to have to go back and see them. But I'm going to have to check that out. Michael Rosenbaum from Smallville is like Sluther. Yeah, I agree with you on that. He did, from the clips that I've seen, yeah, he's more convincing compared to what we're getting now with this new guy. You got to check it. Smallville kicked off Spider-Man and X-Men. The creators wrote Spider-Man 2. Okay, nice, nice. Yeah, then I'm gonna have to really go check it out. Like I said, like I'm kind of selective on what I see. If it catches my attention, then I'll check it out. If not, then probably I might not. I'm gonna be real with y'all. Like now that you said that, let me go back to it. I look, I'm gonna be real with y'all. Probably some of y'all gonna be like, "What? You're gonna go backwards?" But I literally just saw maybe last year, maybe yeah, I want to say sometime last year. I just saw Avatar for the first time. Yeah, I know I've been living under a rock. I know, my friends. It's just it never caught my attention, and everybody was telling me, "Yo, it's a good movie. Watch it. This and that." For years, I've been hearing that, from everybody, And then, my lady told me, she was like, "Yo, watch it." We watched it. I was like, "Damn, where have I been?" Like I'm telling you straight up, like it's just it didn't catch my attention because one, I see that they look like blue cats or whatever. That's what they look like to me. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like it just didn't catch my attention. But when I saw it, I was like, wow, like yeah. Now I see why fans love this. And I'm ready to see the third one. It comes out, I think, sometime this December, I think, or something like that. So yeah, I'm gonna check that out for sure. But yeah, I don't know. I'm weird like that. Gun Superman bleeds, can't hear, screams like a child, and the sun hurts him. Yeah, yeah. I really don't know, but let's. But James Gunn understands these characters, right? Oh man, that's crazy. Battle Cry era was peak Transformers. Hell yeah. Like literally, like man, from time to time I'll play. Like I was playing that Linkin Park yesterday, man. From the first one and the new Divide, man. I'm telling you straight up, man. And every time I hear it, it's crazy because people even use it for memes and stuff like that. We see comedies and then it just ends, directed by Michael Bay and stuff, and then they put the song. That's how again it's influenced in this culture, and it's dope. I like that. That's people still acknowledge it. It's crazy, and seeing that is like wow, like it's just incredible. It's just a nice feeling, I guess. Rosenbaum is a Snyder hater who hates on him over not being casted as Lex. Oh, damn. Okay, so yeah, yeah. I mean, that's always gonna happen in this industry. People get their feelings hurt and stuff like that. Soy Boy Legacy. Yeah, I agree that nobody can save me now is epic. Yeah, honestly, I wish I could play it now, but y'all already know with these copyright strikes that they be going down and stuff, so I'm not even gonna mess with it. I'm also watching the Zack Snyder DC Universe movies right now, as well as because I like Zack Snyder and Henry Cavill, Superman. Cavill's the goat. Restore the Snyderverse. Hell yeah, my friend. You already know it. Yo, you think the Bayverse will cross worlds with GI Joe? Yeah, I think so. I think so. I think that's what they're heading to, honestly. And like I said, I spoke about it in a video. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. That's what I think the studio should do because there's no other studio out there. Marvel's not doing it. DC's not doing it, and this would be a perfect time for the Transformers to redeem themselves and gain even more fans. Because if they bring in, remember Hasbro owns Transformers and they own GI Joe. If they go ahead and just boom smash them together and do a crossover, yo, I'm telling y'all straight up, I say that and I just get chills because I can see that happening. Now, does the studio want to do something like that? That's the part we don't know. You know what they're gonna do? Who knows? But as long as Michael Bay is back to direct a movie besides producing, which I'm sure he's gonna produce, but if he's gonna also direct it, boom, let's go. Take my money, say no more. That's all. Like let's roll out. That's how I say it. We all work for someone. Yeah, that's damn, I forgot his name, man. I couldn't stand that character. But that shows you when you have a character that you really can't stand and you don't like it, he did or she did her their job correctly by playing the role. Lockdown. He was annoying, man. I was like, damn, man, like this dude is ruthless. Like I started thinking, I was like, this dude's more ruthless than Megatron. And then I was like, damn, how they did Galvatron. I was like, come on, man. Like they could have done more with him. It's like he made a cameo. And I was like, damn, that's it. Like, like the main one they were focused on was on freaking what was his name? Lockdown. And I was like, damn, man, Now I gotta go watch it again. Hell yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go watch that later. Miller and Grog sucks ass for DC Man of Steel. Talk crap about Cavill and Snyder, even Nolan. Yeah, there's a lot of them out there that do that. There's so many out there and stuff. But it is what it is. Bro, I hated Chloe from the beginning. Should have been Pete writing all the way, not Chloe. From which part? Because I'm not even sure what you're talking about right now. I'm lost. Damn, y'all going hard with these comments. I know I'm backed up. Damn, I'm barely seeing the one with the Fortnite. Yeah, man. I'm gonna tell you straight up, yo. When the squad be calling, yo, I gotta respond. They need a fourth player. Let's go, let's go. Trying to get these damn battle pass. I hate doing the battle pass thing, man. Just it's annoying. I plan to watch review channels like I said, trust about Superman, including spoilers, and see what happens to the movie and wait. Yeah, I always go out there and look out for spoilers. Honestly, I was in Times Square today, and what do I see? James Gunn Superman poster. No one was looking at it. Nobody be looking at that stuff. Honestly, nobody. People don't be caring and stuff like that. So it is what it is. They're gonna find out on July 11th. I think he got busted with a bunch of Aussie. Damn, yeah. Swamp Thing need that. What Swamp Thing? We need that movie. Swamp Thing. I'm not a fan of that. Honestly, I've never been into like Swamp Thing and stuff like that. I know it has its fans, but I'm not interested in it. I mean, to the ones that like it and stuff, yeah, good. Enjoying stuff like that, but I'm just not interested. Florida has also Bobcat. As they go win, you have to be very careful in him as well. Yeah. There's too many wildlife out here, if you want to say. It went up trash after Lex left. Okay, yeah, about that Superman show. All right. Do you think Wesley Snipes could get another standalone Blade movie? I think Wesley Snipes is the one that's giving a hard time to the studio, and he's right. He's right. I look. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like they should just make it. I'm not a fan of Blade, but they should just do it. Just he did an amazing job in what it was, Deadpool and Wolverine. It's like, yo, like, why are you guys still waiting over at Marvel? Like, make this shit happen now. Like, do it. Start filming that already. Like, what's the holdup? Honestly, like, I don't get what's the holdup. They have these characters. Just make it happen. Put it on Disney Plus. Like, damn, y'all sleeping on these characters. Honestly, that's how I see it. What do you think of GTA 6 taking place in Florida? Good and bad. Good because I love Vice City, but bad because it's gonna bring a lot of people out here. It's like we're already crowded out here in Florida. We don't need no more traffic, no more people. Like straight up. It's like I love you and everything, but yo, let us be. Like go move somewhere else. Go Go like North Dakota, go to Wyoming, go. I don't know, man, but I know GTA 6 is gonna bring a lot more people down here and stuff like that. So, I mean, I'm ready for that game. Honestly, I can't wait for it. After Season 7, Grand Enjoy. Okay. All right, let's see. I still have my 2007 Transformer Starscream toy with the guns as hands. You know what? Talking about Starscream, that's the only one character I do not have in my collection of the Bayformers. I don't know. I just didn't. That's one character I really didn't like his design, but yeah, I like him though. He's annoying, you know, like how he is and stuff like that. But I don't know. That's just the one character I know I need to get him. I've been sleeping on that for a long time. I remember when the masterpiece was out there at Target. It was like probably like $100 back then. It was on clearance and I didn't get it. Now I regret it. I'm like I should have got it. And I that's the one figure I don't have when it comes to like the Bayverse. But like the other ones and stuff, yeah, I got Starscream. But yeah, that I have to add that. Now that you said that, I'm gonna have to look for one. All right. Do they keep trying to put Henry Cavill in Super Flop? Why do they keep trying to put Henry Cavill in Super Flop? I don't think he's in there. Hope not. Hopefully not. So we'll see. We'll see what's up with that. I don't think a lot of people are speculating that that's Ultraman. I highly doubt it. I have a feeling that from what somebody said that Ultraman is going to be that same Hammer, whatever his name is, the dude Bravo, whatever he is. I don't know what the hell he's called. That dude's the same character. So who knows who's under the mask? But I don't think it's Cavill, honestly. I just think it's going to be Corn Sweat, but just like the evil version or whatever it is of him. Or probably who knows? Who knows? I don't even know at this point, honestly. You imagine it's Lois Lane? That would be nuts. Um, or if it's James Gunn under the mask. What up, gangster? You what? You got Bay back, homie. Hell yeah. Look, we were talking about that, We got him. That's all that matters. It's crazy. It's crazy, But that's pretty dope. It's pretty dope to see this and stuff like that. So, you know, I'm excited. I'm really excited, All right, let's see. All right, y'all talking. Let me see. They paid bots and shoes, hired. Yeah, they're all just paid and stuff like that. So, what can we do? All right, Michael Bay can pull it that off. He can pull it off. Yeah, for sure. Michael Bay pulled it off with 5 movies. He could do it again. I know I saw this video. I don't remember which one I saw, but they were saying, "Oh, does he still got it in him?" Of course he does. It's Michael Bay. Like he knows what he's doing with this with these movies and stuff like that. So that's all that matters in the end. So what up, CS? What up, Harleen, Quinzel, 420? I appreciate y'all for watching also. All right, Smallville. All right, let's see. Let's see. I'm just going down. I see y'all talking and stuff among each other. So, all right, let's see this one. All right, I think CS because Peter and Smallville's from the comments. They just made up the Chloe out their ass, and we're trying to force Chloe and everything. Oh, okay. All right, that makes sense. I was kind of lost for that one and stuff like that. What is this? Lockdown from Batman TSA. What is that? The animated series? Uh, what about that? Hold on. I'm confused now about that one. Explain to me on that one because I'm kind of confused on that comment. Lockdown from Batman, the animated series. I'm not sure. Let's see, and they got rid of P from Smallville. Actually, in comments, they kept Chloe all the season, and that man made up the character. All right, so y'all just talking among each other. All right, cool. Wesley is absolutely correct when he said that there's only one Blade, and he was referring to himself. Hell yeah, he is. I remember seeing the movie from I guess from back in the day, and it was good. He played the character good. He did good in the most recent one with Deadpool and Wolverine. So I don't know what's up. I just think it's the studio just eating crap. Honestly, it's like they should just go ahead and just do the movie, put it out. That's it. If they could put Ironheart, damn it, go ahead and just put out another Blade movie. Like with the MCU, and just like move along. Just bring out the next projects and stuff like that. So let's see what they're gonna do. GTA 6 should have been the original pitch of 80s Miami plus Colombia. Yeah, but you know what? I'll be honest. That's what we got in the Vice Cities. I'm happy that they're finally moving away from that whole like 80s and 90s. Just kind of making it more modern. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, like there's so much like I'm tired of that. Honestly, like I don't want to go back to the 80s or the 90s. Let's just do modern stuff right now. And let's have fun with it and stuff. That's all I care about when it comes to these games and whatever it is. All right, I don't even care for Transformers. I'm just happy the critics got owned. Yep, hell yeah, I agree with you. So that's pretty interesting of what's happening. What's up? What's up? All right. I hope Bay continues where he left off with Transformers live action movies since the last night. Yeah, look, I'll be honest with you. The last night sets up something massive, and what Rise of the Beast does at the end, they also leave the door for something massive that can happen because what they did with that setting up the GI Joe thing, they could do a crossover easily, and they can all go up against Unicron and pick up from the last night. Like why stop there? Have the Transformers do a multiverse if you want to. If you want to, I mean, hell, just who cares at this point? And just have them all go at it with the GI Joe. You have the good guys teaming up with the bad guys, or vice versa, or whatever. Pick your sides, and just go up against Unicron. And it's like that's what I want to see. I want to see Unicron like going at it. We've already seen, like everything that they've put out, but I want to see already Unicron going up against these characters in live action. So let's see. Hopefully something good comes from it and stuff like that. Um. All right. All right. I see. I see. All right. Y'all talking. Y'all talking. All right. Cool. 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 All right. This is interesting. Favorite martial arts movie. You know what? I want to say maybe because I remember watching his movies, but Jean-Claude Van Damme, he was a good martial artist type of actor. I don't really remember like the names of the movies that he's been in, but what he used to be in was pretty dope. And I know a lot of people don't like it, but that Street Fighter movie, where he was at, he was pretty dope in it. Honestly, like I think that's the only thing that could come like to the top of my head right now that I could think of martial arts movies. I don't even remember Karate Kid. I know that was good, but yeah, I just don't remember it like that. But again, I really wasn't like a fan of it, like that type of stuff. Superboy series from '88 to '92 is iconic. All right, cool, cool. Blade, the first black superhero. Yep, dope, dope. He's a badass. Love him, love him. He's a badass. And even though I'm not a Blade fan, I guess because like the vampires and shit like that, but he's a badass when he pulls out those katanas and starts slicing. Damn, he goes all out with that. It's like okay, good. That's how you got to do and stuff like that. So, you imagine that James Gunn Ultraman is a wife's gun under the mask. That would be hilarious, man. That would be straight up hilarious. That would be so. That would be nuts. That would be nuts. Honestly, all right, I'm trying to catch up. Sean, what up? I see you. Appreciate you for watching. Also, all right. Let's see. I don't want GI Joe to cross over with Transformers. I want Joe's to be grounded with only a bit of futuristic tech. I mean, that's what they want to go with. I mean, why not? Like it could be fun. It could be fun. I don't see why not and stuff like that. All right, people say that they want about Michael Bay's vision on Transformers, but those have the way what? But those have way better visuals than the robots that we have been getting now. Yeah, yeah, big time, big time. It's crazy because the technology from now is far superior and is much more better than what it used to be, and these movies from Michael Bay are still aging like the Snyder cut, like fine wine. Honestly, I'm like, damn, that looks like they just filmed that recently. It still looks up to date. It doesn't look outdated and stuff like that. In my opinion, David Gore should write G.I. Joe since he wrote COD Call of Duty, and that's literally the GI Joe game. Yeah, I mean, if they can do that, I mean, why not? In the end, money talks. So if they can do that, hell yeah. The Starscream design grew on me. At first, I didn't like his design in the movie as well. Yeah, I don't know, something about between his head and the wings. I don't know. It's just, I guess it's just disproportioned. I don't know, but that's Starscream, so that's pretty dope. It sucks when you see in the last night, and I remember this because I just watched it. Like I said, when Megatron has Starscream's head in that junkyard, and he's like, "Damn, you're not here to see how like in other words, like he's telling him, yo, you're not around anymore to see what's about to go down. Hopefully, they bring him back. I mean, eh, they could, like I don't see why not, but I don't know, man. There's so many things that they have to fix, but it's just minor things. What up, Pedro? Winning. Hell yeah, you already know it. Here we are winning. Transforming and G.I. Joe crossed over in the comics. Yeah, they even crossed over in the toys and all that stuff. So that's pretty dope. That's what I'm saying. They could do so many things, a lot of things to that, with that brand and stuff like that. It would be dope, and it would be something new and different. This would be big for the both brands, especially for Paramount. They could put, all this with their IPs and stuff. All right, let's see. This world's magical lamps. All right, Kung Pao Enter the Fist is my favorite martial arts movie. Isn't Kung Pao a comedy? I'm not sure. I'm not sure that's the one. I think there is it Kung Pao, the one where he's on the cover and he has like two gophers as nunchucks. I don't know if that's the same one, yo. Let me look this up. Now you got me like I'm curious because if y'all know which one I'm talking about, put in the comments because I don't remember. Let me see Kung Pao, Kung, freaking Kung Pao chicken Kung Pao. Um, let me see. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, yeah. Compound to the fist. Yeah, he has. What are those like little squirrels? I don't know. Yeah, that movie. I remember that movie. That movie's hilarious. Yeah. Damn. Yeah, man. The Bayverse is back. Hell yeah, that's all that matters. We got it. Remember when people were saying no, it won't happen, and now look, here we are. Universal Soldier is another one. Yeah, that's another one too. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Completely forgot about that one. That's why, like I said, like there's so many good movies out there, but we forget about them. It's just it happens. It happens. All right, appreciate you for watching. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. All right, Van Damme's films in the 80s, 90s were great. Kickboxer, Bloodsport, and Lionheart were great. Yeah, yeah, good movies. That's damn. That's like straight up going down memory lane from what you said and stuff like that. So I'm watching the next Transformers movie, multiple showings. Hell yeah, I'm ready, man. I'm ready to buy these tickets and see what's gonna come from it. All right, the Raid Redemption films. All right, let's see. Let's see. Just trying to go down. All right, make the Batflip movie now that Michael Bay is back. So can Snyder. Yep, hell yeah, for sure. Anything is possible. Like Ben Affleck said, anything is possible. Hell yeah. Yep, Shockwave. Shockwave's another one. He's badass too. Yeah, that comedy. That's the one. Um, what's up? Rising Renegades. Oh, okay, y'all talking. Yeah, compile that comedy. Yeah, I think it was hilarious. I remember that. I have to go watch that again too. That was a good comedy. Everything is possible. Hell yeah. Ben Affleck said, restore Snyderverse. Yep, yep, yep. You already know it. So, let me see. All right, can you join the panel? I had it up for a while. I'm almost coming to the end now. I'm wrapping it up, honestly. So, yeah, I put that up earlier, but we're already like an hour in. So, I'm about to get going in a few minutes. I'm just trying to catch up with these comments, and we're gonna call it a wrap, baby. All right, there's a new article. See as Unbounding into comics saying Robert Kirkman of Invincible is making a Transformers versus G.I. Joe animated series for streaming. Yeah, I saw something on that. I didn't click on it, but I did get something on I think one of my what is it Google articles or something like that. And I was like, okay, that's pretty interesting. That Robert Kirkman, he wants to do something with it. Anything to show love to it. I mean, I'm down with it. Honestly, Michael Bay needs to redeem himself by bringing back Jazz. That was the bitch move, killing him off in part one to all R1. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like they could do a multiverse, to some point, to some extent, and they could bring a lot of these characters that they're not around, or they could bring a new version of them. Hell, like I know this is gonna sound crazy what I'm gonna say, but shoot, like let's not forget in Revenge of the Fallen, they took out Prime, and they used what it was that thing with the dust and all that stuff. Was it the cube? I think. Yeah, I think it was the cube that they brought him back. So if they could bring back Optimus, then they could do the same with all these other characters. I don't see why they wouldn't do it and why they shouldn't and stuff like that. But that would be honestly interesting if they could do it and stuff like that. But it is what it is. Hopefully something or a new version of them. I mean, that would surprise everybody. Are we starting any campaign together again to restore the greatest thing in superhero universe? Oh yeah, we're still fighting for restore the Snyderverse. We're not stopping. We have to keep on fighting for that. And for sure, after for sure, July 11, we're gonna use everything. We're gonna use all the hashtags of everything. I'm sticking mainly to restore the Snyderverse, and I know a lot of people are gonna be using the other ones. I'll use the other ones too, but I'm mainly sticking to restore the Snyderverse because everything else just falls under this umbrella. Same thing with like Transformers and stuff. This is why I use restore the Bayverse, and seeing from what the rumors are going around, I think we're getting it. And, this Hasbro and Paramount haven't denied it. They haven't come out and say, "Oh no, that's not true." So that's showing you signs. And I know the studio's aware of us. They're in the sense that they want to make money, and it's the right thing that they should do, honestly. After three directors, it hasn't worked. Three different visions, it didn't work. You just better off going to what left, where you left off and just continue. And if Marvel's doing the same thing with the Russo brothers, and I'm probably sure that Sony is probably gonna do something. Right now, they talked about saying that they're canceling all their live action, side characters like from Spider-Man stuff like that. Who knows what they're working, what they're doing? Who knows? But I'm telling y'all straight up, Secret Wars is gonna be nuts. When Marvel puts out Secret Wars, they're gonna be all out. And if DC doesn't bring back Zack Snyder, I'm telling you straight up, DC is in a bad condition right now. Like they can't do anything with James Gunn. They can't. This is why you see that they're desperate, just trying to get all the little bit of attention, but it's not working, and in the end, it's not gonna give them what they want, but they're gonna have to learn the hard way because in the end, we're gonna point the finger and tell the studio, you see, we told you, we told you, and that's all that matters because Zack Snyder's gonna be back. David Ayer's gonna be back. Snyderverse is gonna get restored. We already got the Bayverse getting restored, so that's a win right there for the studio and the fans. And in the end, DC with WB need to do the same thing. Marvel's already doing it. They're bringing back the Russo brothers, so who knows what it is that they're working on and stuff like that. So let's see what happens and things like that. But so yeah, so I want to thank y'all for watching, for tuning in, all that good stuff. It's a shame nobody tuned in today, in the sense that like you could have live streamed and joined it, but probably for the next one, stuff like that. But at least here we are. We're talking, chatting, chilling, all that good stuff. So y'all enjoy the rest of your day, or if it's morning, wherever you are around the world. I appreciate y'all. I'm gonna catch you on the next one. Y'all stay safe. Peace.